Good morning. It's Friday, November 15th, and you're watching WGXA Morning News on Fox 24. I'm Victoria DeCardenas. My co-anchor, Terrell Bailey, is out on an assignment this morning. And right now we're following some developing news. A popular plant nursery in Macon is on fire. That's where we find our own Amaris Jenkins, who's live at the scene. Good morning, Amaris. What do we know about this fire, and where's it located?
Good morning, Victoria. That's right. We did receive information that Agape Plant Nursery was on fire this morning, and we made our way out here to the Agape Village Road where that nursery is located. And once here on the scene, I did speak to the CEO, who says that fire was in the front office of the nursery, and none of the residents here are injured at this point. Now, I'm going to step behind the camera here just so you can see the scene. As you can see, most of the fire has been completely contained. Officials here say that about 6 crews responded to this fire, and there's still a lot of smoke in the air as they work to learn exactly what caused this fire. Now, again, no injuries were reported, and officials say there is no immediate threat to the community at this point, but I am working to learn more details for you. So stick with us throughout the day on our website or live, WGXA.tv, for the latest. Live in Macon, I'm Amaris Jenkins. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Amaris. Well, let's take a look at some of the other stories that we're following for you. We're going to take a look back at the testimony from Wednesday as more public hearings in the impeachment inquiry start again today. Plus, we're going to take a closer look at an efficient crazed shooter training in Alabama and how it's working for one school there. But first, horror at a California school as yet another school shooting has happened. Terror at a California high school yesterday when a student opened fire on his classmates, killing 2 students, a 16-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy, and wounding 3 others before turning the gun on himself on his 16th birthday. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman is in Santa Clarita with the latest.
It was probably the scariest moment of my life.
The deadly incident began just after 7:30 in the morning at Saugus High School in Santa Clarita, about an hour northwest of Los Angeles. According to officials, it took only about 16 seconds for the student to pull a semi-automatic pistol from his bag, shoot 5 people, then shoot himself in the head with the gun's final bullet. Authorities say he remained in one spot and didn't chase any of his victims, leading them to believe there wasn't a specific connection between the attacker and those he shot.
We have not yet established a motive or a nexus between the subject and his victims, other than to say they were all students at the high school together.
Following the shooting, investigators searched the gunman's house. Meanwhile, the president reacted to the shooting via Twitter, saying, quote, "We send our deepest condolences to the families and friends of those tragically lost, and we pray for the speedy recovery of the wounded." Students who know the shooter describe him as a Boy Scout who was smart and quiet, saying they're surprised by his actions.
He doesn't seem like the type of kid at all to do something like this. He was never bullied.
Authorities are unclear as to why the suspect would open fire on this school. They're trying to figure out a motive as part of this investigation. Reporting in Santa Clarita, California, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
And Vice President Mike Pence took to the airwaves last night to condemn yesterday's shooting in California.
Our hearts are with the families of the victims in Santa Clarita today. Our hearts are with everyone in that community in the difficult days that lies ahead. And so will they remain in our prayers. But to every American and all of you gathered here, we say, this president and this administration will remain resolved to bring the scourge of mass shootings to an end, and we will not rest or relent until we end this evil in our time and make our schools and our communities safe again.
If you're going outside this morning, you are going to be seeing a good bit of rain moving on in, especially around Forsyth and Thomaston so far. Macon was seeing a good bit. Now is your break, so if you need to take out your dog for a quick walk, go ahead, go outside right now, knock it out before that rain moves back in, which it will be here in the next few minutes. Now, I do want to point out that there is some heavier rain that might be developing here. Again, I don't think we're having thunderstorms, but a lot of us will be seeing that really tracking along I-75 here. So anyone driving north towards Atlanta can expect these showers just north of Barnesville. will, to really move into that region right here. So High Falls State Park is also going to see some of this rain moving in, but this is going to be enough to really make it harder to see out there when you're driving. Most of that light rain really doesn't do a whole lot other than make the roads wet out there, but this more moderate rainfall is going to be a bit of a visibility issue if you're going to be driving along I-75 here shortly. Our temperatures to start off the day are something else we're watching. A lot of us are down into the mid-40s. I'm looking at 46 in Macon, 45 in Warner Robins. Even further down towards the south, a lot of places sticking in the mid-40s. So that tells us it's cloudy everywhere. We haven't seen a ton of changes. Yesterday's high was only 49 degrees. So as you can see, not really a ton of changes are moving in with the temperatures all day today. As we're only expecting about 51 or so during this afternoon. But it is going to be windy. That's not going to be changing at all. Wind gusts are once again expected to be between 15 and 20 miles per hour. So coming up in 10 minutes, I want to let you know how that's going to affect our temperatures. And check out this great picture that was sent in by Perry Smith of an excellent sunset he was able to capture a couple nights ago. Thank you, Perry, for sending in your great picture. And if you want to see your picture, go to wgxa.tv/chime in to submit them there.
Well, have you been driving in downtown and haven't been able to find a parking spot? Well, my co-anchor Terrell Bailey is standing by live, and he's going to give us an answer on why you can't. Good morning, Terrell. What is going on in downtown Macon?
Good morning, Victoria, and good morning, Middle Georgia. Yeah, I'm actually live here in downtown Macon at the intersection of 2nd Street and Cherry Street. And if you look quite behind me, you're going to see there's a little bit of police car lights back there, and there's also several road closed signs. And if you've been down here in downtown Macon and you see those signs, and you also see that some different cones are in the metered parking spaces, you're probably wondering what is going on. Some filming is going on. So here's a little about what we know. The TV show is dubbed Project Random. I'm told it's going to be airing on HBO as well. Now, it's unclear what the show is going to be about, but we do know the crew, they've been in Macon for a few weeks now. Crews that were actually out here on Halloween starting to set up for the show. The real filming began this Monday, and it's set to be wrapping up tomorrow. Well, with all this parking being blocked off, could it be affecting some of the businesses? As you all know, many people come out here to eat and shop and do things of that nature. Well, we've actually spoken with several businesses this week, and they all say that it actually helps them out because, a lot of people in the community, they want to come down here and get a part of the lights, camera, and action as well. So it's actually helping them. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of the streets that are going to be closed and some of the streets that are going to be opening this weekend since filming is going to be wrapping up this weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and send things back to you in the studio, Victoria. Live in downtown Macon, I'm Terrell Bailey, WGXA News.